And now it's time for Open House with Jeffrey Bodeau of William Ravis on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Well, I guess that'd be you, Joe. I guess that'd be him.
That's Jeff. Jeff, good morning. How was Thanksgiving in the Bodeau household?
I'm here. How are you guys? We're good. We're just, like you said, in a turkey coma.
Yes, our world.
Which is
Every
not a
day
bad
is one
thing.
for us.
Which is
It
not a
sounds
bad
like
thing.
somebody might be in a turkey coma there. I was just calling in. I said it's 8:35. My clock is showing 8:45.
Oh, well, maybe we are. I don't know. We were speaking really highly of Matt, but I think that may have to revise that.
Yeah, we may have to change that.
gotta
So,
change
Jeff,
that
let's get into home inspections. And first off, how have they changed during the pandemic?
Oh, good point.
Nothing's changed during the pandemic as far as inspections are concerned. Everybody's still very concerned about all the things and nuances of a property. There's some new inspections that have arose lately, like with this concrete and stuff happening.
Yes.
So now everyone's having a full, licensed structural engineer coming in and checking everything out: cracks, basements, footings, all that sort of stuff.
Wait, Jeff, when do you determine, the stuff that was used over east? What was it, pyrite or whatever it was? Anyway, is that a problem like out in west of the river, or is it just primarily located east of the river?
It's primarily located east of the river and out towards Ellington, Towland, that general area, if you can put a radius out. But, there are houses in Glastonbury. Actually, my partner, team member, Diane, she lives in Glastonbury, and her house was a J.J. Modus concrete, and hers was actually raised, and it was on 48 hours. Actually, Lester Holt was at the house interviewing him.
Wow.
And, so it's extended out to this far, but mostly up in that area.
Okay. Well, I was kind of wondering, just a couple of things. When you do the inspection, it is something that you dread. And, because, even the most minor thing, Jeff, they're going to find. They can. And so, sometimes it gets into nitpicking, doesn't it?
It does. You're paying your home inspector to find things wrong with the house, and a buyer knows that, and the seller knows that too. So on the list side, I tell my clients they're going to find something. That is their job. And on the buy side, you're hoping that they find things. But every inspector is a little bit different, and you don't want an inspector that's overly nitpicky, let's say, and that blows a deal for you. It could be the dream house of yours, and they're making something out of what's really not, right? And so there's some inspectors like that, and there's some inspectors that aren't. But I'll tell you, people highly and grossly overlook a home inspection. They're as important as your lender, as your real estate agent. They're significant to the process.
Jeff, how has the art of the inspection changed, if at all, since you've gotten into the business?
Well, now the thing is everybody's doing digital reports, photographs throughout, which is great because now you can look back on a report, because if you don't remember like me, you forget a lot of things now. You can look back on the report and you can see photos generated to a certain section of the property. So the reports have really changed dynamically, which has been great.
In your experience with years in realty, what are the most common flaws that an inspection might find, be it paid for by the buyer or the seller, whatever? What's the most common thing that comes up?
Well, it's hard to say what the most common thing comes up, but a lot of time what comes up is you have your roof, shingles, things of that sort.
Okay.
Electrical is a big one. Lots of times there's always a little something with electrical. Reverse polarity, things of that sort. And then you got your traditional structural things like maybe heating and the air conditioning, that's what's important too with a real estate agent having an arsenal of good contractors, because things now are coming up. And so HVAC companies, you're hiring them to come out and take a look at certain things that may be deficient, or you're hiring an electrical company to come out and look at things that may be deficient, where in years past they weren't doing that. So now that Rolodex, if you would, of contractors is very important for a buyer.
Who picks the inspector? Is it the real estate agent? Who chooses the inspector?
That's a great question. No, the real estate agent does not and should not pick an inspector. They should not pick a mortgage company. That's up to the buyer to do. There's legal issues for why that is, but what a good real estate agent will do is they'll say, Ray, these are 4 or so inspectors that my clients have been very successful working with. Give them a call, get a feel for them, get some quotations, and of course, search the web and find somebody that you may feel comfortable with.
If you find something wrong, if they do, and invariably I think you will, unless it's an absolute, got that reverse polarity or whatever you were talking about there. But no, if you have that, the option is what? You can pay to repair it, or can you take some money off from the buyer's bill?
There's a couple of things that you can do. So you can go back after you have your home inspection and you put your request in to the seller. You could then ask for certain things to be remedied, and this is a negotiation, just yet another negotiation that your real estate agent is helping with. You can negotiate those items. Seller will fix these. Seller's not going to fix these. In lieu of this, I will give you a credit towards your closing costs, things of that sort. Yep.
Yeah. We're talking with Jeff Bodeau, obviously, his last segment of 2020. Yeah. Open house with Jeff Bodeau, who's going to take December off, and good for him, at least to take it off with us. Jeff, once the home inspection... Yes, exactly. It's not like you're going to be laying around by the pool. Once the home inspection is done, what are some other inspections that might need to be done to make sure everything is copacetic?
Well, once all the inspections are done and the inspections are agreed upon, and so buyer and seller have an understanding, a written documentation as to what is going to be done, then before the home closes, you'll do a walkthrough with your agent, and you'll make sure that those items have been addressed.
Okay.
You'll have receipts to show that those items will address, and in some things you can actually visually see, and then there's some things you can't see, such as if something in the electrical panel was adjusted, but you'll have those receipts. So you go through the home after all these inspections are done and all the repairs are done and right before closing, just to ensure that everything's been done.
Okay, and then let's go after the fact. You've closed on the house. You move in. All right. Something now all of a sudden that has not been detected goes wrong. Okay. Do you have you as the buyer have any legal recourse whatsoever?
Well, I'm not an attorney, but from my historical experience has been is honestly you don't.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there really isn't. But again, I'm not an attorney. I'm happy to get one on that I do work with that could certainly help with that. But my experience has been that there's no recourse of going back to an inspector and saying, you missed something, I want monetary compensation.
Right. So it's caveat emptor. In other words, you buy, you beware. You better make sure you had everything done. Yeah. Okay.
Caveat emptor.
That's why it's important when you pick a right lender.
Yeah, I took Latin, but I don't remember caveat emptor. I remember carpe diem.
Well, okay, so you got some
so
of it.
Caviar emptor, or whatever you said. Finally, Jeff, before we say goodbye, your best advice to your clients when it comes to home inspections is what?
Some people say that they're not going to do one because they want to be able to, in this market, show that their offer is extremely strong. I highly recommend you do not do that. Make sure you do as thorough of an examination and inspection of the property that you can, and make sure on the contract all the boxes are checked of all the inspections that you could do, but you don't have to do. But if those items are all checked, you're covered. If some of those items aren't checked, as if so on the contract, if you did not check mold and you find mold in the property, seller has no right to remediate. So inspections are very critical. So make sure you don't skimp on any money or any quality or any length of inspection that you want to do, because it could hurt you in the end, and that you're going to be in for the next 5, 10, 20 years.
One last question, Jeff. Are people still testing for radon?
People are absolutely testing for radon in air, radon in water potability, water quality.
Oh, my God.
And even doing now in some areas, let's say, I cover all of Hartford County and surrounding, but in Glastonbury, for instance, uranium is new. So now there's
good.
Water tests for uranium in the water. So, yes, all those inspections are there, and, again, adding structural to it as well.
Okay.
All right. If you want to learn more about today's topic or any other questions about the real estate market, contact our guy, Jeff Bodeau, of William Ravis at 860-463-9296 or online at jeffbodeau.com. Jeff, have a great Christmas and New Year's, and we'll talk to you in 2021.
You too, guys. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right.
Thank you.